Violence is becoming an all too common occurrence in Birmingham, and recently it seems that we've had an increase in shootings that involve children.
This violence not only impacts the victims and their families, it's difficult for first responders as well. Only on WVTM 13 we hear from some of the officers dealing with it every single day.
And Magdala Lusant joining us here in studio tonight. Magdala, you spoke with two men who helped to save a mom and her baby.
Yes, John and Brittany, I requested to speak with Officers Pate and Henderson after their heroic rescue a couple of weeks ago. They and two other officers helped save this mother and the baby from a car after the driver ended up in a creek. Well, that driver was shot and killed. Now, the purpose of this story was to show the public what those officers did that day. So I requested their body camera footage and the 911 call, but my request was denied. The chief saying it's still an open homicide investigation. Well, things shifted in our conversation when these officers became very transparent about the shootings that still bother them even more because children are becoming innocent victims.
We respond to a lot of different calls, but especially when you know that an infant is involved, it hits you on a different level.
Not even 30 minutes into their shift on May 17th, these officers from Birmingham South Precinct got a call around 6 p.m. about a car driving into a creek near Coosa Street. Dispatch told them someone was shot and there's a child in the vehicle. James Pate and Matthew Henderson were some of the first officers to arrive.
It took us maybe about 5 minutes to get there, getting through traffic, and once we got there, we were waved down by two citizens who directed us to where the vehicle was in the pond.
We walked over and the mother waved and said, "Hey, we're down here." So we see the water, where at that point, we didn't have time to take off our boots or anything. We just went in the water, did what we had to do, got the child out first, and then got the mother out. We had to move a tree in order to get the passenger door open.
In the red Dodge Charger, police say they found the driver, Gabriel Bester, dead. A woman also in the car had been shot too. Her daughter unharmed but visibly upset.
She was crying. I did see pretty much the entire backside, like her diaper was covered in blood, soaked in blood, most likely from her mother because her mother was holding her.
Weeks later, police are still trying to figure out where this actual shooting took place. Investigators believe Bester was driving on I-59 South based on where they landed in the creek.
I've been thinking all the time about the female victim. I haven't gotten any kind of update on her. I've been thinking a lot about how she's doing, you know. So you just think about all kinds of different things.
Right before we started this interview, officers from another precinct got a call for a 10-year-old boy shot while walking through Eastlake Park with his mother. Officers say the boy suddenly felt pain in his arm, then his mother realized he had been shot. I asked Henderson and Pate what it's like responding to these incidents.
It's difficult for for us to be able to have to keep going out there and deal with that all the time. Going out to these scenes with not even just children being shot, but just community members, you know, whether it's innocent or not.
These shootings are just the latest incidents involving children. This month alone, 2 children were injured in shootings on Mother's Day. An 11-year-old boy and his father were shot on Coleman Avenue. A 9-year-old girl was shot in a separate incident. She was caught in the crossfire of a shootout in Gate City.
When you shoot a gun in any direction, you don't know where that bullet's gonna go. And with the children being involved in it.
Pate and Henderson tell me in the few years they've been with Birmingham Police, that May 17th call was the first time they dealt with a scene like that.
We were out there for probably 3-4 hours in wet, soggy clothes, and not one time did I hear us complain. We were just, in that moment, we were so concerned on doing what we needed to do and getting things done.
Many of these cases aren't solved yet. Police are having a hard time getting people to come forward, and that's been frustrating to officers Henderson and Pate.
If I had to say anything to the community, it's stop the violence. We get a lot of these situations where it's just unnecessary shooting, and it can be completely avoidable. We got to figure out a way to put a stop to that.
They saw how we responded to a woman and a child stuck in the car. There's no reason not to be able to speak up and say what's going on in the community, give us information. If we can do this, what more can we not do to help the community?
And so John and Brittany, a couple days before this particular incident we talked to them about, Birmingham's mayor expressed his frustration with the lack of cooperation from people. He says Crime Stoppers of Metro Alabama has $80,000 specifically set aside to help solve cases that involve, gun violence against children that's happened in the Birmingham metro area. So I'm told that amount has not changed, but Crime Stoppers of Metro Alabama recommends people call in with tips and they don't have to identify themselves. Crime Stopper says it pays those people rewards in cash.
That's incredible.
We appreciate the officers speaking out too, just the impact it has on them when they respond to these scenes, especially when it involves children.
And you can tell that one comment that he made earlier tonight where he said it was like when they showed up at the scene, they didn't think twice about jumping in the water.
Didn't think
Right.
twice.
The hero
The first
button
reaction.
was pushed and they just jumped
Absolutely.
into action.
Thanks so
Yeah.
much, Magda.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
you.
Thank you.
Magda.